Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to do a somewhat quick commentary talking about the Call of Duty community and taking sides. If you could read by the title, obviously you're figuring out that I'm supporting more of the Keemstar side, because I want to talk about this for a second, and I think it's really important that people do understand what certain people's standpoints are in the situation is. Let's just take the two people that I don't really like and use them as examples, which is Woody's Gamertag and Minnesota Burns. Now, I have no problem with these people as human beings. I have problems with them in the sense of they're abusing the power that they have of 1 million subs to gain as much money as they can possibly get. Now, once again, as I talked about this in a previous commentary about the machinima pay cuts, I think there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we're here to gain some money because we're making videos that are entertaining, we're here to produce content for people that, you know, will earn us cash. I mean, it's a job. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we're trying to get money. But my biggest thing is, like, for example, for Woody's Gamertag, is like the Netflix nights, a Friday night Netflix, where they just sit there and watch TV and nothing happens. Well, that's a big issue for me. Now, I get that Netflix is sponsoring him to do this, but my biggest problem is that you're doing this to gain an inordinate amount of money that really has no position. I mean, there's no reason to do it. If you want to have interesting content, do interesting content. I actually spent the last couple days listening to some of Minnesota Woody's Gamertag's content because I was like, well, you know, I'm being a little bit unfair. I'm not judging what he's doing right. You know, I'm not being too fair by not listening to some of his content. And I have in the past watched a few videos, not much. So I watched the videos, and the most interesting thing he had, the video that he had, was the one where he's talking about Drama Alert Nation. And the only reason I found that one interesting is because he was talking with proficiency. He was making sure he was stating a point, because he was trying to defend himself from, like, the horde of Keemstar fans who would basically go and dislike his videos. Now, once again, I say this as, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with him trying to make money, but like with Minnesota Burns setting up trolls and faking his videos, I had a few comments of people that are going, well, what's the problem? He's making videos that are entertaining people, therefore he's getting views. Well, I mean, that is all fine and fucking dandy, but not when you're trying to call yourself a title of something that you aren't. You're just, you're setting, it's like trick shotting. I mean, there's so little respect for trick shotting now because almost, like, I'm going to make a random number, at least 75% of trick shotting is fake. I mean, anytime you go into a trick shotting lobby, what are they doing? They're setting up their shots. And I have a video to prove that. We were in a lobby with 1 real sword and 2 fake swords, and they were fucking setting up their trick shots. So, to call yourself a trick shotter is like to call yourself a troller when all you do is corner trap people who don't have mics on and you try to laugh at that. You know, that's just not fucking funny. So here's what I want to say is, I picked the side of Keemstar for a specific reason. I didn't pick the side because I'm like, oh, look at this guy, he's a real troll, he makes me laugh. I picked the side because, well, quite frankly, he's the only non-biased person left on YouTube because A, he's not getting paid, 2, he is a legitimate troll. Like, he started off the whole entire, the idea of trolling by messing with people to get reactions. And 3 is because even after like fucking 4 years of going through shit, I mean, he's still sitting there going, you know, I'd feel YouTube is really fun still, but at the same time, it's lost a lot of its luster, which I completely agree with. If it's lost its potential. I mean, content made now is to earn money. It's not to say, hey, I made this really interesting content. And the most people that you see doing that are like Freddie Wong, Corridor Digital, people who actually put in a lot of effort to what they do. But everybody else is just like, oh, I'm going to fucking throw a commentary over this video, much like I'm doing right now, and then boom, I make some money. That's what Minnesota Burns does to me, and I don't respect that. I respect people who sit there and put effort into their videos, or much like me, who have actual commentary skill, and they can actually speak to somebody, or to a group of people and say, hey, I'm here to do some professional level talking, basically, or I'm trying to make a point, I'm trying to invoke you with a response, or I'm trying to teach you stuff. You know, Minnesota Burns setting up a troll is not entertaining content. It's not quality. I have no interest in it. Therefore, I'm not going to give him a chance. Basically, here's a really good example. I hate Walmart. I fucking despise everything about Walmart because they're corporatist, greedist assholes. And if you watch any documentaries about what they do, you'd learn a lot of truth about what they do because it's a fucking bitch of a thing they do. So I say this all the time, is that if I ever got a sponsorship offer from Walmart, I would turn it down in a second. I don't care if it's $1 million, I don't care if it's a fucking $1 billion. I would turn it down because money's not everything in this world. It doesn't mean that you have to sell your soul every fucking nanosecond. But let's say I got a sponsorship from Netflix. You're fucking right, I'm gonna take that sponsorship because that's a good offer. But I'm not selling my soul for money. That's the difference between that. And Keemstar really kind of takes that approach. I mean, yes, he has done some shady shit in the past, but it doesn't matter compared to Woody just doing shady shit all the time in front of your face. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, not Woody, Minnesota Burns doing shady shit right in front of your face all the time. You know, you can do a couple backhand deals as long as it's not hurting anybody, but to bend the rules to your favor, you know, to cut other people so you make more money, it's just kind of ridiculous. That's my whole point, guys. So that's why I chose the side that I'm on, is because, you know, Keemstar, although he's had shit in the past, I can still respect his current opinion because he's actually unbiased, almost, I guess you can say. But, I mean, I encourage people not to take sides. I encourage people to, like, you know, because you never know who's going to give you promotion in this world. You never know. One day I might fucking randomly run into Minnesota Burns and he'll be like, hey, dude, you want to do a podcast sometime? And I'll have talked all this shit about him, you know. I don't, but it's, once again, it's like a 1 in a million chance, and I'm not really going to take it because once again, Minnesota Burns is like the Walmart to me. I just don't want to work with that guy. I don't want to be associated with him. But if Woody's Gamertag came up to me, I would be like, yeah, dude, you know, fucking hey, I'll talk to you, dude, I'll do whatever you need me to do in terms of, like, let's do videos and shit like that, but I'm not gonna sell my soul to him because I don't seek promotion, I don't seek money in the way that some other people do. But that's about it, guys. You know, I really do encourage, if you are a YouTuber, work as much as you can with people. Just talk. If you're gonna talk shit to somebody, say it out in the open. Don't fucking hide behind it like you're trying to be all sneaker, like you're trying to abuse somebody. Like Knife's Life, I'm gonna give a quick example. He only hung out with us because he wanted subs and views, and Dusk quickly figured that out. And what was the first thing we did? We cut ties with him because he was only using us just to get what he wanted in terms of YouTube success. And you should see him now. He's like a jaded ex-girlfriend. He just keeps fucking coming back and saying, I want you, I'm pregnant, I have your child inside of me. I swear to God. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoy the commentary, and it really does, I hope, explain why I take the side of Keemstar versus Minnesota Burns, because I have greater respect for somebody who's unbiased and has 100,000 subs as opposed to a guy who has 1 million subs, because if you really believe in myths, or really the, you know, kind of like one-liners, is that anybody who's made success has trampled over somebody else in the past.